Where's Fielder? He's gone to the dogs.
Welcome, friends, to the Gone to the Dogs podcast, and welcome to 2024. Happy New Year, everyone. Steve Fielder, your host here for the Gone to the Dogs podcast. We had a great Christmas here at our house, and I hope that you did too. Looking forward to the new year, certainly, and coming up just the weekend that I'm recording this podcast will be in Orangeburg, South Carolina for the Grand American. Coon hunters across the Southeast, particularly, and across the country, like to get their year started off right in Orangeburg, South Carolina for the Grand American. So we'll be there in the vendor barn. I'll be with my friends Jason and Danny Doobie, the new publishers of Full Cry magazine. We'll be in the normal corner booth there where I've been with Terry Walker in years past with Full Cry, American Cooner, and Gone to the Dogs books. So we look forward to seeing you. We'll be there all 3 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, January 4th, 5th, and 6th, I believe. And so if you're going to Orangeburg, safe travels, everyone, and we'll look forward to seeing you there. Now, as you know, we've been running the last couple podcasts, the taped interviews with James Oliver Laws. James' father, Uncle Jimmy Laws, was the guide at the famous Hazel Creek Bear Camp in the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. And the subject is the background of the Plott dog. Some call them Plott curs, some call them Plott hounds, some call them Plott dogs. I prefer the latter. But anyway, in this interview, my good friend Stuart Biesecker conducted these on the front porch of Uncle Jimmy Laws in Lexington, North Carolina, way back in 1985. Mr. Laws was 75 years old at the time, and as I mentioned in the two prior episodes, these tapes were never really meant for broadcast. They're certainly not broadcast quality, but they are legible and they are history, and for anyone that loves Plott hounds or loves the breeding of dogs and how our coonhound breeds originated, I believe we'll enjoy this. This is the final of the three-part series. Some of you say, praise the Lord. But hopefully they've been enjoyed, and we'll be getting on with the normal type programming in the weeks and hopefully months to come. So sit back, get a nice cold drink of some kind, maybe a warm drink, depending on where you are, and listen as Stuart and James Oliver Laws talk about Plott dogs.
He didn't let nothing get in his way about hunting me.
He liked it, did he?
Yeah. I know one time, old man Jim Bratton, he was a preacher. And him and my daddy went. My daddy didn't say it. He was walking with a stick. Old man Bratton said, I'm going to tell you what. Said he got up and said, the old dog just wasn't taking offense. And he got up there. Said he jerked, looked, and said, on the bank. Said he went jerking that old dog loose. Said the old dog took off through there. Said he threw that walkie came away and out on every one of them.
Oh. What did your mama say about him hunting so much? She just took it for granted?
She just took it. Well, she seemed like she enjoyed it for him to go.
Yeah. How about your wife?
She never said nothing. She had to get out 3 o'clock in the morning to follow and go. He'd get out and get me breakfast and so on and get me ready to go.
So it means a lot to have a good wife to let you do that then,
man, I'll tell you. And them boys, they'd want to go a deer hunting down. You are here down in there. She'd get up and they'd everyone come here and eat breakfast.
Yeah.
We'd get breakfast for all of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess when you lived up on Hazel Creek, you were back out in the mountains then, huh?
I was in the mountains, buddy. They was about, well, there wasn't very house above me up on that creek. I was upper high.
Yeah, I guess that was it till you got to Tennessee, wasn't it?
Yep.
All through the Smokies.
Yep.
And how about cabin fever? Did you ever get cabin fever being cooped up there all the time?
I always did. It really was my line.
You liked it, huh?
Yeah, it was always my line. I just liked it.
I guess you just loved the mountains, didn't you?
Oh, Lord, yeah. I used to then, after I quit being a warden over there, I'd pull out.
Were you a warden?
Yeah.
I didn't know that, yeah.
And me and my daddy both. My brother-in-law, Bill Wiggins. Bill, he never did get to kill a bear. He was in with us on that one. It was killed on the park.
Bill Wiggins, what?
Yeah, my brother married my youngest son. Went to Cable. He worked for him a year or two.
Yeah. Well, did you ever sneak and kill any bear while you were a warden?
No.
Didn't you?
Never did. I've seen them. I've seen them close from here to the railroad out there. Watch them for 10 minutes, 15 maybe. I could kill him at ease.
Yeah, your job was protecting them then, wasn't it? Yeah. Well, I guess a man's got to have morals to live by, ain't he?
Yeah.
And do what's right. Yeah, I know that would have been a great challenge. Just got to live up there in the mountains where you lived at.
And see, just every few days in the summertime, you'd just see a bear strolling around just every little bit.
Yeah. I love, like, whenever I take off and go up to Nantahala.
Yeah.
You've been up around Nantahala, haven't you? And I think that's the Indian word for land of the midday sun. Those cliffs are so high, it's dinner time before the sun can shine in there. And I just love to go up there whitewater rafting and coming down the river and all.
There's a place over there they call Sololo. That was the Indians' name there. Sololo. They called it the Sololo Valley. There was good fishing and nothing there too.
Well, the Cherokee Indians reservation is right there at Cherokee, right joining Bryson City. Were they pretty good bear hunters, or
no,
they didn't mess with it much?
They didn't. Not that I ever knew of. They liked to get out and hunt, but
they didn't have good dogs.
They'd hunt groundhog and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Maybe hunt coon with them.
Yeah.
But I never did have one of them Indians go with me. I knew them pretty well. My daddy, he knew them. He used to work a bunch of them.
Yeah.
He had a logging job back over there, and he worked a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just 9 miles from where we lived up to the Indian reservation.
Right. How far up from Bryson City was it up to Hazel Creek where you hunting camp was located?
It's 32 miles.
32 miles. I guess you was the upper house then when you lived up there, wasn't you? And them guys, I guess they was pretty closely knit, Branch Rickey and Bob Haynes and all, when they come down together, and they come to have a good time.
Yes, sir, they come to have a good time.
Y'all showed them a good time, didn't you?
And we showed them a good time every time we could. They didn't get to come many times, but what we got something. Or
do you think if maybe if Fontana Dam hadn't been built there, you think maybe they'd still had that
Yeah.
Same hunting club?
Yeah, boy, they like that Dodge and everything. Had to sell that.
Yeah, I bet so.
There was an old feller, Wiggins, down there. Will Wiggins. He owned about as much as they did. But his was, maybe he'd have 3,000 acres here and 3,000 somewhere else. He got it off of Jack Coburn. Jack Coburn was an old fella. They said he's working for Ritter Lumber Company. They said he started in there in 1903, I believe. He said he went to work for them. Said every time he got a payday, he'd go and buy him a few acres of land.
Mm-hmm.
And he bought land. He owned more land than
the Wiggins guy did.
Yeah.
Did they have any Plott dogs, the Wiggins?
No, not that I know of. They'd go hunting once in a while, but they'd just go over Martin or somebody like that to bring dogs. You know.
Mm-hmm.
There's some heights up there on Deep Creek. Now, I don't know where they got, but they had some black back dogs, some brindle head. They was good.
The Heights had some, and you don't know where they come from.
Don't know where they come from.
Yeah. Well, people was pretty serious-minded about when they bred their dogs to make sure they wasn't any kin to somebody else's dog. Yeah. I know my grandpa and my great-grandpa, even when I was little, they made sure dogs wasn't kin before they would...
My daddy said, did you go to inbreeding them? Said, breed out the nuts.
That's right. That's kind of the way I was raised up believing, and I believe that way. And
he did, but Daddy did.
He knew how to come up with a good dog, didn't he? You did.
He really knew if anybody did, I believe.
Well, I guess the Plotts felt the same way, because if they would drive from Waynesville over to where you live, just to breed a dog, that was a pretty good drive back then, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's last New Year. It's about 70, 75 miles.
75 miles through the mountains, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, on the dirt road, mostly.
Yeah, back then I guess the roads wasn't paved.
No.
Yeah.
Just gravel roads.
Yeah. So they had a pretty good breeding program then, didn't they?
Yeah.
Cull out all the buckskin.
They culled a lot of them too.
Yeah.
But them buckskins now, they was good as dogs as they was. Why they want to call them out, I don't know.
Just because of the color, don't you think?
Yeah, that's color.
Yeah.
They want to keep it brindle, they said.
Right. That's kind of as the Plotts today. They are brindle. Yeah. Most of them. You see a few black ones or saddlebacks, but...
Little George Plott had a solid black dog guy. He said he's a Plott man. But said he was as black as a raven. Had the blackest eyes I ever seen. And he called him Fleet.
Fleet.
Yeah.
Was he a good dog?
Yeah, man, he was good. He brought him over there. He's about 18 months old. First time he'd ever been there. And me and Little George, they told us to go find a track. We went up there, and he was going to go up one boat, me up the other. But I think Vince Cable, my brother-in-law, went up the other way. Me and George went together, though. And I had an old dog, and he took that Fleet. He said, I don't know what he'll do. Said, me and you go together. Said, we know Rock will find one for saying up here. Said, I want to try this now.
Your Rock dog, was he talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got up there. We didn't do a quarter of a mile up that coast. So I'd come up and off the bank and across. There's a big log laying on the lower side of the road. He went off over it. And boy, that Fleet dog just went to take in a fit on me. He said, let's go back and get them others. So, well, he hit it back there. He said, do you think Fleet will go? I said, I don't think he won't. I said, I'll let you turn loose first. I said, you turn on Fleet first. I said, no. I said, I'll guarantee you he'll take that track out. We got up there and someone was talking, they was going to get old Scott and go and take first one with George. I flew along just a little. When I got back to the track, let him get out like to the street out there. I had that morning he jumped out. I told him, I said, as soon as you get there, I said, turn him loose. Well, he turned him loose, that dog took around to the bar. But usually, go up and they'd cross and in on Walker's Creek. That's where the standards would always be. But by the way, that time he went right up that way, up the hill a little, and just turned and come right back. Went across Hazel Creek, back in on over there from the old Calhoun place. And little George Plott killed it. Said, boy, said the old Fleet said he was getting in there. He had his foot hurt, old Fleet did, some way. Said, and I believe that very big.
Caught up with him, did he?
Mm-hmm. He was first, and I'm satisfied he got up with him. But I seen him in several scraps then from then on. He'd really get with it.
Made a good dog then, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he was a black Plott.
Black, they called him a black Plott. George said, I know he's a Plott. But I never did know what his daddy was. But I went over there. Well, it's been about 30 years, I guess. I went back over there, and I seen a black dog out there at George's uncle's or aunt's. And I told him, I said, is that a pup from an old Fleet that George Plott used to have? He said, how do you know George Plott? Well, I said, I knew George Plott. I said, me and him hunted together. I said, old Fleet's the daddy of that, granddaddy of it.
Granddaddy.
And I said, and
this was 30 years later or 30 years from now?
Oh, it was about 30 years from now.
Yeah. Where was this at? Now, where'd you go to?
It's over there in Haywood County, back in that way.
Oh, where the Plotts live?
Yeah. I went up there. Well, I went up there to buy a load of apples.
Yeah.
Out of the truck. And I went up there to buy a load of apples. And I bought them for a truckload of apples. I forget the old man's name, but he'd married Georgia Saint.
Yeah.
And they raised them pups.
But you recognize that dog as being a pup? I mean, you can see the resemblance in him?
He was for the world like him. And I said something about him. He said, I reckon he'd be an awful good dog, but said he's awful vicious. I said, I have to keep him tied so he bites something. And then I asked him about old Fleet. Boy, his eyes brightened up when he kept up. And he said, you and little George hunted together. I said, yeah. I said, me and George and Ron and old man John. And with Fate, there's one named Fate. He lived in Texas, but he'd come out there and fall sometimes and go with us. So he didn't have no dogs.
Yeah.
But old man George, though, he raised some dogs. Little George raised them. Old man John and Vaughn, they all was into the dog business.
Mm-hmm. Kept a good dog all through the years, didn't he?
Yes, sir, they kept a good. Well, as long as I kept dogs, I kept a good. My daddy, I had one time. He was getting about a year and a half, 2 year old. And Dad said, you're going to live with that thing. It ain't going to be worth the dog. But I'm in that school for that dog that turned out and started to hunt and running. And he was one of the best bird dogs you ever seen. He'd run a coon, but he wouldn't run the track.
Yeah.
tree.
How about a bear? Would he open on the bear track?
Oh, every breath.
Every breath. He's looking at him, was he?
Yeah.
Good tree dog?
Oh, yeah, he'd tree coon and stay right on and on. But he'd get up after one. It wasn't red hot tracking, but there were always after one.
How about the old Scott dog Von Plott had? Was he a good tree dog?
Yeah, he treated bear good. I never did see him treat nothing but a bear. And, well, that skunk.
Yeah. Didn't count that one, though.
No, that didn't count. So Vaughn said after I grabbed my dog, took him, Vaughn got his. No, I believe Vaughn just called him and told him, come on. But I had to tie mine and make him go. Yeah. Vaughn said after going up there. And we ought to kill that old skunk, he said. And I said, yeah, kill one, I said they do. Really never skunked you across the
looking
track.
for one then, wouldn't he?
Yeah. With that dog, he would put all the time. He'd hunt for a coon. Or buy one. If he didn't find one, he'd take off after skunk.
Yeah.
What about got him? Where he wouldn't pay attention to him, but he'd run into this little. An old Zeb turkey. He had a black one. There's a black chip out of my brother's old dog and an old chip I had. The dog is black and tan, but the mother of the pup was a spotted. Some called him lemon spotted.
Yeah.
She was a big dog and was an awful good dog. But Zeb, he got one of them pups. I give it to him. He called it Spy. He said, that son of a bitch said a little polecat if it went.
He liked the polecat, did he?
Yeah. Yeah, he said she'll run a coon or a polecat. Said you can say it's a skunk or a coon one when you hear her.
She liked both of them, did she?
Yeah.
Well, all things considered, and knowing what you know now, if you had it to do all over again, would you want to go back, which I'm sure you would, to the same stock of dogs y'all had at the time, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Just be hard to replace a dog like that, wouldn't it?
I wouldn't doubt what you could buy a dog like that. It'd cost you thousands of dollars.
Yeah, I'm sure it would, with the money that dogs are bringing now, and I guess it was so much country at the time that a dog had to go deep and really work for everything he got.
Yeah, he did. Like I was telling you about that. My daddy's taking a track dog, hunting that fire track. Now, he was next to old Troop of anything I ever seen. He was just next to him. And I had some calves and swapped them to a boy for a horse. And he lived about 10 miles across the mountain over there. He told me, said, I'll tell you what I'll do. Said, I've got a good tree dog. Said, he's a real good tree dog. Said, he's just 2-year-old. And he said, he took a fit the other day. Said, Paul just got mad and said he was taking a fit. And he said, if you'll go let me drive them cattle over there. He said, I'll give you that dog. And I went and had.
So that's how you got the dog.
And it was black and tan. And took him on over there. I was working with my brother, so I was plowing and some fall in there. And my daddy, he decided he'd go see if he could find a bear track. Well, the dog was tied up. But some of them went out there and turned him loose. My daddy'd been gone for a little bit. My daddy said he's about 2 miles up the road to gas. Said, here come that dog. And we went on up the road away. Said, the dog struck, went to trail it. Trailed on the way back out the rock bar out there. It's a working tree. My daddy went out there to him. Said, it's in a bunch of rock. Said, he just fooled there a minute. Said, he got it. Told him, come on. Said, dog went forward. Said, took the strap off his gun and tied him. Then took him about a mile up the road. Said, turned the dog loose. Said, never saw him before. Didn't reckon. That evening, he's coming back. There's a dog watching him. Well, he said, if he doesn't do that, I'll just go over there and see it, if I can catch it. So he went over there and took his knife and cut a pretty good sapling down. And got it where he could got a pole to prize with, and he prized down about 3 rocks. And there was a big coon sitting back there.
Had him treated.
Yeah, and he'd treat. Oh, then, boy, my daddy, he really wanted him. And he had a black one we call Wheeler. He was one of them fast ones. My daddy, he wanted soft with. Told him, oh, that's all right. But that was one of the best dogs about I ever seen. He could really treat coons like.
And what'd you call him?
Track.
Track. Yeah.
And I know one year we went up there, and me and my brother, 2 other fellows, we got to hook coon hunting. We'd caught about up in 20s, I guess. And we was coming back down through there. One of them fellas said, I'm going to have me a dog. Said, if it costs me $100, said, I'm going to get me a dog. And he said, I'd rather have that one right there as the only one on the wall. And he said he'd give me $100 for it. And I said, oh. My brother said, I've got $105. So said, all I've got, I'll give it. No, I said, you know you can up with him, just like he's yours, but I said, I don't want to sell it. Well, we went on. About another year or 2. You know, I went out there one day and I was dragging some logs right down by the barn. He was out there at the barn. Every time I'd go by, he'd just bark and walk me over. And I just went out there and turned him loose. And he went on over up in the woods with me. And I didn't see him no more, not for, well, 3 hours or more, I guess, for him. And he come in, and I took him that cup of ice milk. By the way, we went to feed him today to see today.
Wonder what he died from.
Somebody poisoned him, no.
Yeah.
Boy, that'll really hurt you when you lose a good.
Yeah, it does. It surely does.
So, you got to think something of your dog and take him and talk to him, train him, and that.
Yeah.
And then you let him something happen.
A lot of time.
It's like some of the family.
That's right. That's right. And it really does. It really hurts. And it's hard to start over. Even if you ain't got a good puppy, it's hard to start over. But I guess somebody's got to do it, or we wouldn't have any dogs today, would we?
No.
Somebody has
a couple bred up, wouldn't have nothing but little old stuff it was worth it, I think.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, the breeder of a dog has got to be one of the most important houndsmen we got. I know everybody loves to hunt dog, but somebody's got to train that dog up and got to have right some dogs. Good blood. That's it. That's everything. The good blood. If you got a dog bred right, it'll all come together for you if you know how to handle a dog.
Yeah.
And I believe our breeders of the past has done a pretty good job, hasn't he?
Yeah.
To get us to where we are.
I know back then that there's some good breeders.
Which they was breeding for good dogs because, money wasn't really that as an important factor as it is today. A lot of people breed today. They're running pup factories just trying to sell pups, but a man that's breeding for ability, he's going to breed good dogs to get good dogs.
I know my daddy, he had two. Well, I was just a kid, I can remember. And he had two dogs there, and no fella come along. And told him, said, you want to buy them? And I said, I don't want to sell them dogs. He kept on. He said, what do you take for them? And I said, well, I don't want to sell them. By the way, he just kept on though. Told my daddy, told him, said, I'd have to have $40 a piece for them dogs. He said, well, they're sold.
He bought them. He wanted them, didn't he?
Yeah. He took them on. They killed several bear from them. And the old dog, bear killed him. Every time I was just about it, they'd take them dogs out. He'd have to carry one or the other of them in.
Had to
Or a bear would cut him down.
Let me flip this. I guess a lot of dogs got hurt.
Yeah.
Fighting bear and all.
That old dog we had, Old Troop, he had scars on him that long. Well, but bear didn't bite him. I reckon it's where he scratched.
And what did you tell me about that dog one time when he was a pup? Somebody had scalded him?
Oh, yeah, old Lady Burl, they owned him. And he come in the house. He would tell him to get out. He'd show you his teeth. He wouldn't go. That old woman, she in the kitchen. She had a bottle of cold water on the stove, and she told that old dog to get out, and he turned and showed her his teeth. She just reached up that bottle of water and dashed on him. She scalded him. Yeah, well, from then on, she said, I can get Old Troop out of the house. But he was no good then with them. He just...
He's scared of them, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I guess it scarred him for life, too, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And old man Morgan Duval, Baldwin, was coming down the road with him. And my daddy was he was fixing something about a wagon out there. He had a little bitty wagon, and Morgan had a little human muse. And my daddy said, why, you got old man Burrell's dog? He said, yeah, I bought him from him a while ago. My daddy, he's looking at him. He said, I always did like that dog. When you also laugh at you want all that for me. And I said, I'll give you this dog for that dog. It was old again, but it was a pretty good little wagon. He had two little old mules. I think about 2.5-year-old. He wanted that little wagon to go with him. And Daddy, he looked around the room.
So your daddy traded the wagon for the dog?
For that dog.
For Troop.
And then he took the dog out. And first bear at the kill, he didn't run. But the two black and tans, they're the ones who treated, killed it, and then they was dressing the bear. And Daddy, he'd cut off pieces and we'd tell them to that dog. And the next time they went, he was right there.
He liked it, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't take him long to catch on, did he?
But Daddy,
was he a pup when your daddy got him?
Yeah. He was just a big old pup. And but Daddy, all the time, he'd go catch a coon. He'd be dressing that coon. He'd cut off pieces of it and give them dogs.
Yeah, he liked to feed them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'd feed when he tree a bear, he'd do the same thing too.
Yeah.
Some of them said, that old man said, I guess could take a fight and make a good bear dog out of it.
Good hunter, wasn't he? What sticks out in your mind the most about any bear hunt that you was on?
Well,
is there any one certain adventure that you remember the most about bear hunts that you was on? Or?
Well, I guess the most that ever come to mind was that we killed on the park.
Yeah.
That was the most.
Yeah.
Because we threw rocks at it for 4 hours. The dogs shoot. We was close to it to the curve there.
Yeah.
Lots of time. And them dogs, buddy, when we'd crowd in on him, they'd everyone pile all over him.
Yeah.
I've seen them all over that.
Built their nerve up to see y'all that close, did they?
Yeah, they went to fight in the south. Long Plott, he said one thing, said, I know, that when you go getting in there, he said, that dog will get in there too. I said, yeah. I said, that's what you got your dog for.
Did any of y'all ever get hurt getting too close around the bear?
No.
Stayed back pretty good, huh?
Yeah. My daddy and my uncle, they killed a beef in the fall of the year. And my brother and my uncle took that old cow head, went way back up in the mountains, I guess 4 miles, carried it back there, and they drug it. They tried to string to it, wire to it, and drug it around, and set 2 steel traps. And by the way, next day, my daddy and my uncle going up through there. What they said is, nearly first in their railroad, they was going up through there and they see the big bear jump up, just laying down.
Had him in the trap, didn't
Yeah, and they both shot him. And I went on up there. My uncle, he said, now I shot him up there. Well, Daddy said, that's where I shot him last. But neither one of them didn't know the other shot.
Yeah.
They both shot at the same time. He said, my daddy said, that's where I shot him last. And it's not done, it's over where I shot him. Well, they kept talking. My daddy said, wait a minute, Wes. He said, we're going to settle this. He said, you was shooting a solid lead ball. He said, I shot a copper jacket. He said, if there's a copper jacket in it, said, I'm the man that killed him. And if it's a lead ball, said, you're the man. Yeah, that's right. That's right, he says. And they started skinning the bear. They skinned it down to the shoulder there. And they was about that much between the 2 bullets.
They both had put their bullets
Both of them put them exactly the right place, and the bear fell over. But Daddy said, I just happened to think, Wes, he was shooting a lead bullet, and I was shooting a copper jacket. My daddy shot 30-30, and he always shot copper jackets in it.
So both of them was real good shots, then.
Yeah, man, either one of them. I could tell you, like one time old Mark Cathy in the woods, they was over there hunting. I was on the head of Fourney's Creek. And they was briar patches over there. They was a mile long. And them things was just like that. You couldn't get through them safe. It was like. And so I was hunting. The dogs would get way back in them briars and fight for 2 or 3 hours. And some of them went and got an old sling of the thing and went to try to cut a road in there. And my daddy, he was going up. They had trails made in there. That was to get through there to fight fire. My daddy, he was going up one of them trails. And when I went across the road, right in front of him, about as far as there at the door, my daddy, he just throwed his gun up and shot. And he hit it way back, nearly hind leg. And the old wire went out through there just a little. My daddy said he could hear it groaning. And he flew for about 2 hours trying to get out there and find. He'd get up and move just a little ways. And my daddy, he told another fellow, said, I wish you'd go yonder and get a dog and bring it over here. Said, we can get that this mark here, I know. And he went on over there, and the dogs fighting back off in the blowing. He said, he said, there's an old man over here. He said he shot one over there. Said, but I don't know, said, whether they hit it or not. Said, and he said he'd hit it. He said he shot it too far back. Said, Mark Castle said, who was the old fellow? I don't know, he said. Said he wore a mustache. Said that old man that's got mustache. Well, boy, hell, said he could tell you, they ain't sure where he hit that man. But I'll guarantee you that they ain't sure where he hit that man. Mark said he went and got one of daddy's dogs and one of somebody else's. And he come over there. They turned the dogs on it. They said they run about 100 yards, 200. And they went out there and it climb up on a tree. Barely all the way up the dogs was standing on the 2 big limbs. My daddy, the dogs was right in behind the big log. My daddy told the old fella, said, now you kill it. Said right up there at that log, said they're right in behind it to fight. And he told him 2 or 3 times, he didn't yell. My daddy looked in, saw it up in the tree. He just straight shot it out.
The guy waited too long, didn't he?
He was afraid.
Yeah.
He was afraid, that fellow was. He'd go every time you go hunting, but he was afraid to kill one. I devil him one day. I told him that. Clyde Inlow was his name.
Was he any kin to that Reggie Inlow?
No. They might have been a little too. It's far off. And I said, Clyde, I said, I'm going to kill a bird today. He said, good. Said, won't somebody kill one? We'd hunted 2 days and not kill one. I said, I'm going to kill one today. I said, you can just mark that down. He went and he had 2 high-powered rifles there. And he went and got one of them that he was going to carry. It's about the same as 30-06. And I dealt with him. I said, you better let me in. And I said, carry it. I said, yeah, you can't kill one. But I've got something else to kill one. He just walked back to the house and got another rifle. He said, take that. Oh, I said, no, I've got a gun. I said, I was dying in the car. He said, take that. No. Said, I've got to thinking that you might kill her. And said, I'd be kind of delighted to say, oh, the gun was going to kill it. I just took one. He gave me a whole box of shells. I said, I don't need that many. He said, take them home. I said, don't know what you'll eat. And I went back there. That's all there is. His further's here to that pole away over there. It's up a tree. And Lord, as thick as they could be around. I just took me a good rest, laid that old gun up, and I shot it at the center. Got that turned the back, as you just stuck your finger, and the bullet come out down there, and it tore it right up on me.
Big bear.
No, it was way about 100. maybe 150 pounds.
Pretty nice bear.
But it makes what a man can carry on.
Yeah, I guess it would.
I went over there and I tied the dog lead around its neck. Drug it down the hill a ways, and then my brother-in-law, two of the boys come on. We all got it down to the road to where it's level about. We tied his legs and run a pole through it. There he is. There's no smart boy. We all had something to say. Well, right here where that bullet come out, hit that breastbone, and it's a hollow point bullet. It busted that. Well, that's a hole that big. That old rifle boy, he said, oh, I said, hell, I said, somebody killed this with that. No man went, Bill Smothers said, they no damn use in shooting one up like that.
He thought you shot it more than once.
Yeah. I said, I said, you can say when I shoot one, it's a kill. He said, oh, yeah. Said, you ain't your dad, it's just Plott. Said, keep it shooting as long as they're moving. Man, so I told him, I said, I've always called him Mr. Willie. I said, Mr. Willie, I said, some of these days you'll shoot one down. And I said, he'll get away. And I had to go somewhere the next day. I'd take the truck and go, took a load of stuff somewhere. And I got back up there. Someone was telling me, an old man Will shot one down, said old Drum, that's another dog we had. He's a black he is brindle and white spotted. We called him Drum. He was mate to the buck again dog.
The one that you had.
And
so he was just half Plott then, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And old man Will shot it, said, come up the road, he shot about up near that tree there. And said he heard the dog run, and said, now give out. Said, I pulled up that road as hard as I could. Said, when I seen it coming in over the north side of the road, said, I shot it. Said, it fell up there again this bank. Said, and I was so exhausted. Said, I just sat down there on the bank. Set my gun down. And he said, I heard a little noise. He said, I looked, said that fire was up over that bank. I'm going. And he said, that dog said he was listening to the dog. That dog, he come on, went up through there. He said that dog never barked another bark after he went up over the road. So he just went on, right the way the fire went. And he come back, they said in about an hour, and said he had head all greased up. So he went up there and eat him the best of it. Come on back. And the next day I said, well, Uncle Willie, I said, I heard that you shot one. He's crazy. Yeah. Said, I remember what you told me to. Said, if I ever see another, said, I'll shoot as long as I can see a hair tremble.
So he learned a little something too.
Yeah. But a whole lot of them talk. Maybe you'd shoot one about 2 or 3 times with them hollow point bullets. It would tear up a lot of it, but shoot, as long as one stays on the feet or tries to go, I'm going to shoot.
Yeah, that's what you're there for, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Most time, I guess it's best to make your first shot count when they was in a tree to get a good kill, wasn't it?
Yeah. Whenever he's in a tree, I just shoot him in the head.
Yeah.
And then I knew it was mine. But now, that was far. He was up on a tree and was coming down. And I shot him in the back there, and the bullet went out right there.
Lucky to hit him walking down, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just coming scooting down that tree.
What do you reckon is the biggest bear you ever killed yourself?
Oh,
as far as weight?
Well, I killed one. I've killed them weight close 4 of them.
Big bear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes a big bear.
Yeah,
Weighs
it
400.
Yeah, it does.
There's more 200 pound bear. It weighs 400 here. The fellow talking is.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah.
That one, that day that I killed it, that old fella said he shot it, went in the old water. I killed it, I believe. It was no big bear at all. It might have weighed a little over 100 pounds. Oh, he said it was a big one.
Yeah, it looked big when he was running off, didn't it?
He was a lawyer from New Jersey. Yeah, and the old Senator Smathers, he was a judge then. He lived in New Jersey. And when that lawyer come down here, Senator owned a share in that property down there.
Right, yeah. In the Hazel Creek Gun and Rod Club,
Yeah, I forget how, he was about 30 or 40 shares in there.
So y'all usually had a pretty good crowd there.
Yeah, there's a big crowd that come every time.
Yeah.
Some of them wouldn't kill the bear if it wouldn't stop them.
And a lot of them didn't know what a good dog was, did
No.
they? Didn't know what their dogs was doing half the time, did they?
You may know D. Hiding Ramsey.
Yeah, I knew of him because Zeb Green owns Green Printing Company. His daddy owned a newspaper company up in Asheville, North Carolina, back in the 20s, and this Hidden Ramsey worked for Zeb's daddy.
Yeah, he was
a real popular fella, wasn't he?
Yeah. One day, we turned dogs loose, and my daddy had took hiding up. The day before hiding, he was out there and they pitching up walnuts. He took 22 and busted up in the air. And my daddy, he told him, he took him up there. He said, "Now right here's one of the best stands that is around." He said, "He'll come right through the barrel, come right through the barrel." Well, he left hiding and went on. And no fellow Cody walked up there for a hiding was. He didn't have no gun. He was over there, I don't know what for. And they was standing up there. They heard the dog way back over there. Cody told me, he said, he'd swear that if there's two bears coming through there, was no further than that pile of weeds out there. Said, "You don't hide." He said, "Shoot him, shoot, shoot, shoot." He said, he never did hide. He said, "Let me hide." And he wouldn't let him have his gun. He wouldn't shoot.
Wonder why?
He was scared.
Scared.
Yeah, there's a lot of them get scared till they can do nothing.
Kind of like buck fever then, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like my son-in-law. Last fall, he'd been to deer hunt. He was sitting up in the stand. Had a boy in there. And he said, "I'm telling you what's true." He said, "There's a buck coming close near to the house last week. To just fooling along, taking its own good time. Hadn't never smelt mean or nothing. Said, just fooling along, took its own good time." And he said, "I never could put an arrow in that bow. Shoot." He said, I was taking all of them.
Yeah.
And he's killed deer.
I've done the same thing, though. You look down, you see your heart jumping in your shirt.
That's what he looked.
That's
He said, "I took that fever." Said, "I've heard people know that." Said, "But I had it."
But that's the thrill of anything, is getting excited. If it don't excite you, it wouldn't be any good, would it?
Oh, boy, I've never say shoot not a real bad shot at a bear. I've had to shoot them 2 and 3 times. Shot one 4 times.
Some of them pretty tough to kill
Yeah.
at times, aren't
I shot one And it wasn't, just about the first year that leaf fell, it was about 40, 50 feet up in a big tree. And it was right straight down near the land was. And I walked out, and that bear was up that big tree, and I shot it. I shot it twice. And it's a big limb out there, and the end of it broke off about 10 foot out there from a tree. That rascal, I shot him twice, right back there at that tree. And he just started walking out that limb. About the time he got out nearly to the end of it, I shot him again. He just walked right on like he's walking in the air. Walked right off the end of that limb.
Wow.
When he hit the ground, though, that's what life was in his dog.
Yeah. But you know, I was just sitting here thinking, you know, you was talking about your daddy, and he had probably killed more bear than any man that was been in the Smoky Mountains. But you know, the most of that credit would have to go to his dog, wouldn't it? Because without that dog,
that was for them dogs, shoot.
That's right.
He might not have killed out half a dozen bear and all of it.
His life. That's right. Yeah.
But them dogs,
yeah.
They got one time where my daddy had them black mans and old troop, and had the mother of one of them black mans. He took them 3 dogs, that bitch, and one or two my brother had, that his brother had. They'd go, all of them went and drive. They'd turn the dogs loose, then they took after them. They didn't go to the stand. They just took after the dog.
Yeah.
So they knowed when they got up, he'd have to wait on it.
Yeah.
I know one time my daddy turned dogs loose on the way on the head of Noland. They crossed that mountain, went in on Deep Creek. And my daddy killed it about 4 o'clock in the evening. Boy, that was the big one I've ever seen. That was the one that hide was 8 foot long.
520 pounds.
520 pounds.
What, did he take it back down to town to weigh it?
Yeah.
And how old were you at the time?
I guess I was about, I was about 16 or 17.
Now, that's almost 60 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it was some big bear, you know, during his time. But
Well, they turned all them dogs loose. And whenever they caught up with one, he'd always tree. They didn't stay up with one, but just a little bit to lead tree. My daddy said, the boy said that and didn't tree. And he said he was going over there and said he's going up a little old creek. He said he heard them coming out there and said he got out of a little old creek, walked out and said there's a big tree that fell that turned up, made a pretty open place, about 10 foot or 12. He said he got right at that, said he saw them coming out of them laurels right into that open place. He said, and he shot it 8 times.
the big bear he shot 8 times.
He shot it 8 times before he broke it.
The male bear, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's shooting right in there every
Yeah.
time. He said it just knocked it back, looked like it sat down.
Shooting it through the throat and it's still just knocking back.
And just knock it back on the tail end, and it'd come right back. He'd shoot it again. He's shooting a Winchester too, a lever action.
Yeah.
But he'd shoot that lever action about 5 seconds, shoot automatic.
Yeah. I bet you that was a thrill. And let's see, you had the 2 black and tans and Troop and the Jip, the old Jip.
And that Jip, she was a buckskin, the mother of them others.
Yeah.
And I don't know, they had 2 or 3 buckles.
A buckskin Plott.
No, don't know if
Just
she's any
kin to a Plott or not.
kin to a Plott or not. But
Right.
she was buckskin color.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd been back in the 20s when that took place. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, my daddy.
He knowed how to get them, didn't he?
Yes, he did. And just about kill himself. Every time. You're right. He just run himself to death. I know one time. That was the time, by the way. And we had another dog named Wheeler. And that poor she said, well, said, I'm going for you, huh? Said, too hard on me. Said, it's killing me. Said, I think I'll quit. Dick said, what do you think for that old dog out there? And Dad said, oh, I don't sell. It's, well, back then, $25 to $30 is a big price for a dog. Dick said, I'll give you $25 for old Wheeler. And Dad said, well, I'm going to let you have him, Dick. And then went on home. He took that dog and went up there on above Eastern Port in there on the Rich Mountain. And they turned loose after there. And him and old man Parker, they hunted together. They turned loose after a big bear. Old man Parker's back over there. Them dogs come through there a fight. And he got around there. He shot the bear right through the shoulder. And the bullet went out. Shot old Wheeler's brains out.
Killed his dog.
Killed his next dog. And the next shot he killed his best one.
Killed
old
two
Parker's
dogs.
Killed two. And old man Parker and that Corlick, they said when that Corlick come up, that old man Parker said he was crying like a baby. And he told him, Jack said I killed the two best dogs of the world. Said I shot that bear slap through twice and killed the two best dogs in the world. They said him and that Corlick both said they just about shouted. Said they cried like babies.
Yeah. I bet it hurt.
Yeah. Oh, he kept some good dogs. He was a good hunter, that Corlick was.
That Parker guy was too, wasn't he?
Yeah, old man Parker. Old man Wilbur Parker. He was supposed to be the best that he was back in there on Rich Mountain. Up in Jackson County.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be the best old man Parker.
Yeah.
He kept a bunch of dogs. He's the one type of dog he called hardwood.
Now, he was a Plott dog.
Yep.
Yeah, the hardwood dog was a Plott dog.
Yeah.
Wonder if he was a registered dog or not.
No, he wasn't registered.
Well, back then, there just wasn't very few registered
There
dogs.
wasn't many registered dogs. But then with that he got, that did he give that husband boy. It was the only two that I ever knew of being registered.
Yeah.
My uncle, he got an old Walker. He come over there and said, Jim said, I've got a dog, the prettiest thing that you ever seen. And said, she can fly too. Said, that's the fastest dog I've ever seen. He said, you get after Gray Fox, said, about 2 hours as long it ever stays in front of her. But said, we got after a red fox, and he said, that fool run over 12 hours.
She had stamina, didn't she?
Yeah. He said, I'd like to give you that dog. Said, you'll make something out of her. My daddy said, if she was such a fox dog, I'd love to have her. Said, I don't want no fox dog. Well, my uncle brought her on over there. Left her. My daddy, she was about, I don't know. She's bound to have been 3, 4, maybe 5-year-old. But now, boy, she'd run. My daddy, we'd go coon hunting. She'd run to that tree, bark a tail to him, and my daddy'd go get her, and he'd push her up on a tree and pat on it, try to get her to bark. But he never did get her to where she'd bark good. But now she'd really treat him. she got to where she liked them better than she did a flock. And her and that black dog, now they could, there was two of them that could run. Ed died, he come over there. They went fire hunt. And they turned that black one and Earl, and Ed was up there, and an old fella Honeycutt had a black dog just nearly like him. My daddy, he said, Ed, he saw the bear. Ed didn't see that. He said, Jim, son, I tell you the truth. He said, that's the fastest running that I ever heard a dog do. He said, I heard him way back in there. And said, I saw that bear go through. He said, it wasn't no time till they went. And he said, that black dog of Sam Honeycutt's was just about 10 foot ahead of old Sam. My daddy said it wasn't none. He said it wasn't Sam. No. He said it's old Wheeler. He said that's why I was leading the race. And Sam Honeycutt, yeah, I said it. No, I said it's my dog. My daddy said it wasn't your dog either. Said it's that black dog of mine. Said he used to lead in the race. Said he always leads. And I think it's Fred out maybe killed that dog. And he said they had treated it though. But he said that old Walker said was looking right up that tree door marked it at that bear.
Seen the bear, trained it by saw.
Yes, you could see.
Did most of you, the dogs that you daddy had and you had and the Plotts, did most of them have real good mouths on them, good loud mouths? Or?
Yeah, about all of them. Well, that Jip that my daddy got, that registered, she didn't have too good a mouth. She had a yip more like a shepherd or a collie.
A lot of walker dogs, especially the Jips, are that way. They little yip mouths.
Yeah, she had a. And my uncle, first time he ever went, was with her. My daddy had took her out. They'd kill one or two from her. And my uncle, he said, I heard a dog coming through. Said it went like a shepherd or a part feist or something. Said it was just, yep, all along. Said it was running. Said that thing was, said it was about a mile ahead of him.
Some of them can get through the brush pretty good, can't they?
He said it's about a mile ahead. But they wasn't none of them much. They was outrun that old troop dog that we had till he got to be about 11 or 12 years old.
He was always a fast hound.
Yeah, he was fast. After he got told when he was 14 years old, we went out with him. Maybe he just hit our red hot track. In a little bit he'd be trailing. And then I'd say he's on the back track. Got to where he couldn't tell one end, track him up. Then he'd take him, put it on the other end, back the other way, and catch coons that way. He's done that.
Yeah.
But he got to where he couldn't tell.
You reckon he lost his nose when he got so old? He just
lost his. And he had the stamp
right
when he was old. And he got to where he couldn't tell one end, track him up. He's 14-year-old.
Yeah. Well, back then, people, they didn't vaccinate their dogs, and they didn't really look after their dogs.
Didn't look after. They went out there and fed them a little chunk of bread and give them some water and went on.
Yeah, that's about the extent of it, except for what meat they got off of what they treed.
Yeah. Never done anything about buying dog feed. Okay. We'd always raise a lot of corn, just cook up on the bread for it.
Well, don't you hate now that you let that stock of dog die out that you did?
Oh, Lord, have mercy, yeah.
You would have just kept breeding through the years.
Just kept it till now.
Yeah.
Boy, my brother, one of my brothers died 22nd day of March. And I was over there at his house. He had a big old yellow dog. He's a big rascal, bigger than that in the yard. And there was an old bulldog come out there. Boy, he lit on that old bulldog. He got him under none, too. They fit for a little there. He fit in it. And something said, one of my nephews said, yeah, said he ain't been afraid of that bulldog. But said, I know something he is afraid of. I said, what's that? He said, a bear. And my brother had 2 apple trees, and there wasn't no farther from the house there to them 2 pine trees right there. And there's a bear come there, and the garage was right back in, kind of in between the apple trees and the house. And my brother had a good doghouse fixed right in the side of the garage side for his dog. And there was a bear come there and clear them apple trees, eat the apples all of them before they knowed it. And the nephew, he been up there. He said, Daddy, said, what's that on? Been tearing that tree up like that. Oh, I don't know. He went up there and old bear, boy, they said just messed all around there and laid down. And when it went to coming over there, getting in them apples, that dog, he moved his bed about as far as to that house up at the ball.
He didn't have the right stock bred in him,
No,
did he? Oh, man.
Them boys have got some over there, man.
Yeah.
But they started a breed, bred Airedale, one of them brindle.
Plott. Yeah,
And they got a half Airedale on the half Plott.
But you know, a lot of people, they get ideas about trying to breed different dogs like that, and I just think if you get a good dog, just like the troop dog that your daddy had, or the Scott dog Von Plott had, if you stick with the good stock of dog that you got, you know where you're headed, because you know their weaknesses and their strengths, and you kind of know what to anticipate out of your dogs.
But I got them Airedale. By the way, they say that's the best fighters that they've got. They say that
could be.
Von Plott had some Airedale.
Did he?
Yeah.
Did he interbreed them with his plots?
No, I don't think so.
Kept him pure.
He'd bring them in there to fight the bear.
Yeah.
And they had fight to that bear we treed up there on the park. Killed one of Von's Airedale. Killed, I believe, one of Little George. I know he killed 3. And we got the dogs and left out. I know Rascal, they just a small place up there. He'd fight, and he'd climb back up on a big tree and have a big old knot on it. He'd get up there and out on that knot, stay there and rest a little. We'd rock him and do everything. He'd come back down. But he wouldn't leave there. He stayed right in that level place.
He knew where he was at.
And that old Airedale running grabbed him by the hind leg, and he whirled and took after it. That dog was looking back at him and run against a stump. Oh, and did. He caught him right there on top of the head.
Bear caught him.
Yeah. And Zephyr, he took his knife, cut the hair off its tail. He'd give it to Von Plott.
Oh, Von wasn't up there at the time?
No, Von wasn't up there. Me and George Plott, Taylor Wilson, Zephyr. We got him down a half a dozen times, I bet. And he caught that old Jeff blind. Caught her in the hind leg. She was big and she was fat as she could be. Then she couldn't get around. She was too fat to get around.
Yeah.
She was about 7 years old. He caught her right there in the hind leg. I thought that dog was going to bleed to death.
Yeah, they can be rough on them sometimes. Well, I see we're getting close to the end of our tape again, James.
Yep.
And I guess that'll just about do it for now. I appreciate.
Anytime now, it's your turn. Go back.
Well, I appreciate the time talking with you, and I'm sure Steve does too. And whenever the article comes out, I'll be sure and bring you a copy of the magazine to keep. And it's just been good talking with you.
Oh yeah, I enjoy talking with somebody that likes to hunt and fish.
Well, I like it. It's some times I wish I could have got in on like you, but, but them times are gone.
I'd have given anything if you could have got in on
Oh, I would have
some of
loved it.
that. I know you'd really enjoy it.
I would. Well,
Got to tuck that old red dog out there and turn him. Watch him take after one. Got to chewing this ice off.
he might have been wanting to go the other way too.
I don't know. I bet you that dog could go in there pretty well.
Well, I like to think he would. Well, I'm going to stop this interview then, and I sure have enjoyed it.
I've enjoyed it.
Okay, thank you, James.
Well, folks, that concludes our interview with James Oliver Laws. What a grand old man he was back in 1985 when Stewart recorded the interview for me, and I so appreciate that. In this last episode, there was quite a bit of meat there. I found very interesting. He spoke about Mark Cathy on Fourney Creek and fire trails and such. Mark Cathy was a very prominent figure in the Smoky Mountain region, and I was fortunate to visit his gravesite in Bryson City, and it just brought back so many memories for me. When I had a website called plottdogs.com, I named the site Plott Dogs because of a quote by Samuel Honeycutt. We heard James Laws talk about Samuel in one of the first episodes. He wrote a book titled 20 Years Hunting Fishing in the Great Smoky Mountains, and he talked about a particular hunt that they took, and he named the dogs that were involved in the hunt. And he ended that portion by saying all of those dogs were hounds except Mark Cathy's dogs, and they were Plott dogs. So, to the argument about whether they're Plott curs, Plott hounds, Plott dogs, apparently in that day, they were considered to be Plott dogs, meaning they weren't exactly a hound, they weren't exactly a cur. They were somewhere on a realm or a level of their own. So I thought that was interesting. Anyway, as you have the ability, if you're a Plott fancier, to go back and re-listen to these episodes, you will find a lot of interesting things. In this last episode, he spoke about Troop, the famed dog of his father's, who lived to be 14. And as he reached that age, he began to run his tracks both ways. Reminds me of myself sometimes. I find myself meeting myself coming and going. But so many things back in that day were so different. They didn't have any dog food, no commercial feeds. They fed cornbread to the dogs. He talked about some dogs that were actually afraid of bears, and I guess in developing bear dogs in that era, that was a big no-no. So one thing I found interesting was the reference to Von Plott's Airedales. And I think he pretty well cleared up the argument of whether or not there's any Airedale in the Plott dogs, or at least in Von's dogs, because he says that he doesn't believe that Vaughn ever crossbred those with his hounds. When I was a boy, I remember there was a lot of speculation about the origins of the Plott dog. And even as certain dogs would come onto the scene, there would be a lot of speculation about whether that dog had crossbreeding or not. They talked about Airedales, as we've said, talked about bloodhound being introduced into the Plott, Redbone that produced the red-colored dogs, and, of course, the cur. And we know that John Plott, who was the older brother of Vaughn, was known to have made a cross to the leopard cur dog in Georgia. And that's a documented cross that we really didn't get into here with this interview. At any rate, I'm going to shut this off and send it up to those that are responsible for dropping it on your computers and your listening devices every Monday. Do want to deeply thank you for listening to the Gone to the Dogs podcast. Want to wish each of you a very happy new year. If anyone asks you, where's Fielder? What's he doing? Just tell them, well, you know him. He's gone to the dogs.